There is a distinct kind of silence that fills a house right before everything you have built completely falls apart. I was sitting on the edge of our mattress, scrolling through my phone, just trying to distract myself when my wife, Chloe, stepped out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around her hair. If this story resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Where are you watching from? What time is it over there right now? And how is the weather today? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to watch more powerful stories like this one, make sure to check out the videos appearing on your screen right now. She stood near the foot of the bed, studying my face with a hesitant expression that almost looked like worry. When she asked why I had not touched her or held her hand in over a week, I did not bother looking up right away. I just took a slow breath and told her flatly that I was practicing for life as a single man. The words hung in the air like heavy smoke, and the sudden shift on her face was almost instant. She went from looking confused to looking furious, shouting at me to explain what kind of sick joke I was playing and whether I was actually asking for a divorce out of nowhere. I set my phone down on the nightstand and watched the ceiling fan spin in quiet circles, letting her sit in the sharp sting of that silence. I wanted her to feel the exact same cold emptiness I had been carrying in my chest for the past 7 days, ever since I found out our marriage was already over. It all started a week earlier when an unexpected alert popped up on my phone regarding our shared family phone plan data usage spiking out of nowhere. Curiosity got the better of me, so I opened the detailed usage logs, expecting to see some random app updating in the background. Instead, I found a mountain of late-night text messages and multi-hour video calls originating from Chloe number at 2 in the morning. I did not scream or confront her that night, choosing instead to watch her closely, observing the quiet distance that had slowly crept into our home over the last few months. Every morning after that discovery felt like playing a scripted role in a terrible movie as I kissed her goodbye and pretended everything was fine. I listened to her talk about her stressful days at work, while secretly watching her slip out of bed late at night under the pretense of getting water. I would see the soft blue glow of her phone screen reflecting against the hallway walls and hear her muffled laughter echoing in the dark. So when she asked why I was pulling away, the truth was simply that holding her felt like participating in a massive lie I refused to tell anymore. Chloe tossed her towel onto a nearby chair and began pacing the bedroom floor while screaming that I was losing my mind over nothing. I stood up and walked over to the dresser to grab a clean shirt, mostly just to keep my hands from shaking uncontrollably while she tried to twist the narrative. When I brought up the late-night phone calls and the way she guarded her passcode like a state secret, she immediately called me paranoid and insane. I cut her off instantly, telling her not to dare gaslight me when I already had the proof sitting right in my pocket. She realized her anger was not working, so she quickly shifted tactics and softened her voice, claiming that her phone usage was just work stress, and accusing me of being emotionally distant first. She looked at me with tears brimming in her eyes, hoping I would soften up and apologize like I always did whenever we had a disagreement. But looking at her in that moment, I did not see the woman I spent 2 decades loving. I just saw a calculated performer using fake tears to hide the fact that she had already stepped outside our marriage. Without saying another word, I grabbed my pillow and walked right past her toward the spare room down the hall. She called out after me with a cracking voice, asking where I was going, and I told her over my shoulder that a single man belonged in the guest room. That night on the lumpy mattress, staring at the faint streetlights filtering through the blinds, I expected to cry or feel completely destroyed. Instead, I slept better than I had in months because the heavy burden of pretending everything was okay had finally been lifted from my shoulders. The next morning, I walked down to the kitchen to find her sitting at the counter with 2 fresh mugs of coffee already poured. She tried to smile and play it off as a simple misunderstanding, suggesting we both said things we did not mean during a foolish argument. I sat down across from her, looked her dead in the eye, and asked her point blank for the man name. She flinched as if I had struck her, trying to deny it again. But her complete silence when I mentioned her sudden late night habits spoke louder than any confession ever could. I spent the entire day at my construction job, hammering nails into cedar frames, but my mind was completely consumed by the strange phone number I had pulled from the logs. During my lunch break, I ran the digits through a public record search on my phone, and a full profile popped up almost instantly. He was a regional sales representative with a polished online presence, completely real and fully integrated into my wife's secret life. Knowing his actual face and identity did not make me rageful, but it gave me a chilling sense of focus that I had never felt before. When I arrived home that evening, the house smelled of roasted chicken, and soft music was playing in the background, as if she were trying to stage a romantic reset. She poured my favorite wine and tried making small talk, but every few minutes her eyes would dart nervously toward her phone sitting on the counter. I set my fork down and told her flatly that the betrayal was bad, but sitting here watching her perform like a frantic actress was infinitely worse. When I forced her to say his name out loud, her voice trembled as the truth finally spilled out. The following afternoon, I tracked the guy down to a small cafe downtown where he regularly grabbed lunch between client meetings. I walked right up to his table, sat down across from him, and watched the color completely drain from his face as he recognized who I was. He tried to stumble through a pathetic speech about how Chloe told him our marriage was already over, but I cut him off cold. I leaned in close and warned him that if he ever contacted my wife again, I would personally make sure his entire professional network learned about his lack of morals. When I got home that night, Chloe was waiting in the living room, frantically asking what I had said to him Zets, because she had been trying to reach him all afternoon. When she sobbed out that he was going to hate her now, something inside me completely snapped. She was not crying because she had broken my heart or ruined our family, but because she was terrified of losing the guy she cheated with. In that single moment, any tiny lingering hope of saving our marriage completely dissolved, leaving me with absolute clarity about what I needed to do next. By Friday morning, I had already met with a divorce attorney in a quiet downtown office to sign the initial paperwork and split our shared assets. When I returned home and told Chloe where I had been, she collapsed onto the couch in tears, promising to delete his number and go to counseling. But I simply looked at her and explained that counseling cannot resurrect trust once it has been completely destroyed. I grabbed my pre-packed duffel bags from the closet and loaded my tools and personal belongings into the back of my truck, while she watched from the doorway remember that she still loved me despite everything. I paused at the tailgate, looked back at her one last time, and told her that love means absolutely nothing if it is not built on mutual respect. As I pulled out of the driveway and left the house behind, a deep sense of genuine peace finally washed over me. Preparing for life as a single man was scary, but driving into the sunset alone was far better than staying in a home built on lies. If this story resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch more powerful stories like this one, make sure to check out the videos on your screen right now.